Hi everyone, welcome to another session by Civils 360 IAS Academy. We are continuing our session on Government Schemes Simplified and that too on Social and Agroforestry. In the last session, we discussed what is social forestry and what is agroforestry. Today, we are going to look into the schemes associated with this agroforestry. About agroforestry, nearly 8.65% of India's total geographical area is under agroforestry. Now, what are the benefits of this agroforestry? Firstly, since we are integrating crops with the trees and livestock, even any of this one component falls, the other two will bear the income, right? So, this will ensure a constant income. Also, as we are mixing trees and crops together, we are diversifying the fields, right? And that will increase the productivity of the land. So, productivity of the land is increased and the income of the farmers are increased. And if the income increased and farmers got more employment opportunities, what will happen? It will finally improve the livelihood or living standard of the rural, right? Living standard will be increased. If the income increase and if the employment increase, finally the living standard of the farmers will increase. And since we are planting the crops, trees, etc. together, that will end up in reducing the soil erosion, or this can be seen as a soil conservation measure. Along with water conservation, right? Now, if it can safeguard the soil and water, finally it can safeguard the environment as a total, right? So, this will reduce the climatic vulnerabilities. It will stabilize the climate. In essence, this will lead to an aid for India to complete its intended national goals, right? So, agroforestry is not just an environmental measure or not just an ecological measure, but as it is a socio-economic measure too. Moving on. About the schemes related to agroforestry, the first and foremost scheme is National Agroforestry Policy. Obviously, as the name suggests, it is a policy to improve agroforestry. And this was proposed in 2014. The speciality of the scheme is that it was first ever dedicated scheme for agriculture along with this forestry globally. First agroforestry policy in the world. And this led to what is called as SMAF, that is Submission on Agroforestry. That is, we'll be looking into next. And this National Agroforestry Policy acted as an inspiration for many other nations. Now, what is Submission on Agroforestry? Submission on Agroforestry was proposed in 2016, and this is a mission to incentivize seedlings, their procurement, their plantation, finally their protection. All these things are incentivized through this Submission on Agroforestry. Now, as a first initiative, this promoted tree plantations on farmlands. That was the objective of this submission and it was successful. Now, the third is GROW. This is introduced in 2024 by Niti Aayog. Here, Niti Aayog target to plant trees or restore the 26 million hectares of degraded land. it is replanting the degraded land, it will act as a carbon sink too. Like apart from afforestation, it will be acting as a carbon sink. For this grow mission, this Niti Aayog is using technologies like remote sensing, GIS, Agroforestry Suitability Index. This ASI is not just by any of the institute but by a group of scientists. They publish an index called ASI or Agroforestry Sustainability Index. This is also used by Niti Aayog in this grow mission. And also Bhuvan portal. Bhuvan portal is nothing but it is a geographical portal in which you can get real-time 2D and 3D images of the earth. Like it's like a surveillance. Using all these things, the GROW mission is acting as an intervention for climate mitigation and land restoration. This is all about the schemes prior to our model rule. Now moving on to the model rule. This model rule was proposed in 2025 June. Now, about this model rule. This model rule simplified the process or procedure for harvesting the benefits of the trees we planted along with the agriculture crops. And this is a support for timber-based or tree-based farming system. This acts as a support to ease of doing business with these timbers. Also, it will enhance the domestic timber production, which will meet the demand-supply gaps existing. That's all about the objective of the scheme. Moving on, what are the key features of the scheme? In this model rule, government proposed something which is existing priorly called state level committee comes under this wood-based industry guidelines to oversee the implementation process of this model rule. And they will be promoting this agroforestry statewide and they will be boosting timber production as they are wood-based because of wood-based guidelines, they will be boosting timber production. Now, to harness those timber products, first you need to be a registered farmer. Okay, to register this, the rule proposes a system that is called a National Timber Management System. Through this National Timber Management System, with the valid documents, a farmer can register and after their timber got matured, they can seek for permission to cut them off. How you get the permission to cut the trees? When you apply through this portal, some agencies that are overseen by DFO, that is Divisional Forest Officer, will come to our site, they will inspect our site and they will prepare a report. Based on this report, you will be getting permission to fell the tree. And if the number of trees are less than 10, you don't need a permission, but you need a no objection certificate. This permission is only when the trees are greater than 10. Okay, that's about the model rules. Now, look into the question. The question goes like this. The statement 1 says that this model rule of felling of trees of agricultural lands simplify the procedures. That is the aim of the rule, right? So that is correct. Now statement 3 is like DFO, the agency under DFO conduct site inspections. That is the procedure for getting permit, right? The agency need to thoroughly go through the site inspections and they prepare the report. Finally, you are getting permission to felling the trees. So this is right. Now, felling permit is mandatory for agricultural lands with more than 10 trees. And no objection certificate if trees are less than 10. That is also right. If you have to fell more than 10 trees only, you need to get the permission. If the number of trees are less than 10, there is no need for permission, but you need to get a NOC, no objection certificate. So all these statements are correct. Whether these explain this first statement? Yes, because that simplified procedure is this agency inspection and this permit. So answer will be A. That's all for the day. I hope the topic is clear with you. Thank you.